alliance, we don't know the do's and the don'ts of that agreement.
Could the problem also be lack of respect for authority within the government structure? That the President Chakwera should be respected even by ministers from UTM or whoever officials. Dr. Saulos Chilima should be respected by starting from ministers and MCP and everybody as vice president, and he maintains that, so that that helps in the discipline of government.
My assumption anyway, as an outsider, my assumption is that the ministers do respect the president and the vice president.
Yes.
That's my assumption, because that is how it is supposed to.
What if they don't? Suppose an example is the behavior of the Attorney General, where things from his office are leaking, and he's writing as if he is even saying purported rescission. His letter to make, he used that word, purported rescission, because there's that rescission, you no longer exist, but it's purported. He doesn't even own it himself. Yet is the advisor of the president.
We shouldn't point fingers at the Attorney General.
Yes.
Because when it comes to leakages, leakages can come from the two ends. Your office can write me. I can leak that memo. Or somebody from your office can leak. So we cannot point fingers
but
at
the word purported. Okay, forget the fact that it leaked. It did leak. So we can't ignore it. When it leaked, the language that was in that memo to make is purported. When you're saying purported, it means you don't even believe it yourself. Yet he's the advisor of the president.
Sometimes you can use that purported if the communication is not on your desk.
No,
the problem in the civil service is that sometimes, let's face the reality, our OPC is weak. The office.
What do you mean?
I mean, in terms of decision making on some issues, taking control of other issues, in the history of Malawi, for instance, the issue of announcing cabinets comes from the OPC.
That's right.
Since Dr. Banda's time.
That's right.
But when you reach a point when the issue is coming from a press secretary, that I will have a cabinet in 48 hours, not from OPC, the system is not working. Something is wrong. Because the right office that is supposed to disseminate that information is OPC.
But the press secretary was asking a question, so he needed to answer.
He was supposed to say, please contact the OPC.
Okay. But
sometimes people ask those questions because the office that is supposed to handle that information and to articulate that information is not doing so. If I can ask you, who is the press secretary, who is the press officer or secretary or PRO for OPC?
No, there isn't one. Probably they want to be.
And who will journalists be contacting? Who will communicators be contacting when they want to talk to OPC?
Probably they would want you to use the Minister of Information, Gospel Gazako.
But Minister of Information is not OPC.
But he speaks for government. He speaks for government.
But Minister of Agriculture has got his own PRO. Minister of Education, even parastatals.
Do you want to do a consultancy for OPC?
I don't want to do a consultancy for OPC. But I'm just
tell them with their communication problems.
I'm just pointing at gaps which are there.
All right.
So the problem that I'm referring to of the State House commenting on cabinet release may generate from the OPC itself that it is translucent.
Yes.
It's not open to the public.
At the end of the day, whatever you're explaining, you are accepting that there's a problem. Could this be as a result of probably not having enough dialogue in government, in the alliance, or in parties, whatever you call it? Should they talk more? Should Chilima and Chakwera talk more? Should Nkaga and Patricia Galiati talk more? Until down to the lowest individuals in the two institutions, so that those problems that you are mentioning should be sorted out even before they go out.
Excuse me for using rude language.
Yeah.
When people go into power,
of course it's TV, so
I've already asked you for an excuse. When people go into power, most of the time they are preoccupied with eating.
Oh, that's the
eating.
So they don't solve the day-to-day problems quickly.
If you ask me, has the executive of UTM and MCP or executive members of the Tonse Alliance held any meeting since they were ushered into power? The answer may be no.
As the executive committees,
yes,
of the two institutions,
so that they can be resolving those
such
issues.
Yes.
Do they have a dialogue going on? I doubt.
So I doubt that there's enough dialogue.
I doubt, because if the coalition members were in dialogue, the violence that we saw in Karonga,
yes, wouldn't have happened. Yes,
it means there's no dialogue.
Okay,
people are in power. They are busy
eating.
That's what happens. People forget their political party.
So you're advising them to stop, to suspend eating and sort out these problems which can consume them if they're not careful.
In a normal situation, the secretary generals were supposed to be meeting
regularly. Exactly. Exactly.
So all these issues that are being raised, the issue of splits, the issue of conflicts, the issue of cracks that you are referring to, would not have been there if there was dialogue between the coalition or alliance partners.
Honest dialogue.
Yes.
Because dialogue can be there,
yes,
always honest. You're talking about this, but behind the curtains you are saying something different.
Dialogue could be at the district level, constituency level, regional level, and even at national level.
Yes. You're watching the Cauldron, and today I'm joined by Brian Ligomeka. We are discussing the cracks that are in the Tonse Alliance government when you look at UTM and the MCB, and trying to give advice on how these cracks can be sorted out so that they forge ahead, so that in the words of the Vice President, they should focus on development and not better politicking. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'm going to ask Brian, as blunt as I'm going to be, does this alliance have a future? Is it going to survive until 2025? I want to hear his perspectives on that, and already he's laughing. Don't go away.
Pamene wena amati kanthu nkhama, wena amati mwayi suponya mwini. Peza ni mphoto za Nkhani mu mpikisano wa changu pamalo promotion ndi Times Radio komanso Times TV. Tumizani message yolemba changu ku 1895 kuti mukhale ni mwayi owina mphoto zosiyanasiyana kuphatikizapo Mazda Demio. Mpikisanowu ulipo mpaka na pa 30 June chaka cha 2021. Tumizani ma message ochuluka kuti mwayi wanu uchulukenso. Ndondomeko zonse zoyendesera mpikisano zizatsatidwa. It's about time.
Welcome back. This is the Cauldron you are watching, and it is on Times TV. It is a program where I invite an editor or editors, former editor, current editor, to try and look at issues, because as I said in the beginning, the belief is that these are people that drive the newsroom agenda. They drive the editorial policies, or they once did. So they have an idea, they have analyzed the news and probably shaped headlines and other things, even bulletins. They have something that they can talk about as far as news is concerned. Welcome back. Brian, before we went for the break, I was saying I'm going to ask you, looking at these issues that are happening, and some people are saying they might even get worse before, as we are slowly, going towards 2025. Do you think this government has got a future together?
The government has the future, but let us maybe focus on the alliance.
Exactly. Yes, alliance.
Yeah. The problem. My answer will be hypothetical. It will be hypothetical because we are not sure of what exactly is in the pact that the two key political parties agreed, signed. Did they even talk issues of succession? That after you have done your term of office,
yes,
I will take over. Is it after one term or is it after two terms? Did they agree that? Did they agree on the time frame of their alliance? We are not sure. But if they did not agree on some of those things, then there is a possibility that when we are nearing 2024, 25, the alliance may break. The parties may choose new partners or may make a new alliance.
Would that be good for either leader? Would that be good for Chakwera? Would that be good? Suppose Chilima chooses DBB, goes back to DBB. Would that be good for him? It's a hypothetical, of course. It hasn't happened. We haven't heard that it will happen. But I'm just, because you're talking about...
It will depend on what will be offered to him or what he will offer to DPP. We don't know who will offer the other. If he will be given the gold, the presidency to lead the alliance, the candidacy,
yes, exactly.
He might accept
to go back to DPP.
I mean, to form the UTM and whatever alliance, not to go back and rejoin DPP.
Some people are saying this alliance was doomed right from the start. Some people are arguing that probably Chilima should have disbanded UTM and he joined MCP and then compete at the convention and probably take over after Chakwera. That is the only thing that gives him a little chance or a little go at the presidency after Chakwera. Again, hypothetical. Nobody has said it. We have to make it clear again. Nobody has said it. But hypothetical. How do you look at that?
Politics is dynamic. As I've said, UTM is a registered party.
That's right.
You can't register a party today and just a year later you want to disband it.
Because you have seen the higher somewhere where things can get better.
So they can work as an alliance as they are working, and I believe they are working perfectly. Save for the squabbles between the party members on social media.
Was this doomed right from the start? That the only objective was to get rid of DBB using their numbers, 50 plus 1%, but in terms of ideology and some other critical factors, probably it was doomed from the start.
It wasn't doomed for a start. We should also look at the achievements of the alliance. They had an objective and aim.
And they got it.
Which was to get into power.
Yes.
And they succeeded in achieving that. They also had an objective of forming a government and running the government together. They are exactly doing that. The alliance hasn't collapsed. It's there. It's running the government. You have ministers from most of the political parties within that alliance. But politics is dynamic, and the alliances have benefits, one of which is what we have stressed. It enabled the alliance partners to spring into power. But one of the downside of the alliance is that some of the political parties will be strengthened and others will be weakened.
Exactly.
So some of the issues that the members are saying are because of such factors. We had in the past the UDF Afford Alliance.
Yes.
At the end of it, the UDF was slightly strengthened and benefited from the alliance.
Because some members of the Afford eventually
went to UDF.
Stayed, they refused to get out of government.
Yes.
Yeah.
While this Afford was weakened, even its numerical strength in parliament was reduced. So even in Tonse Alliance, there are those issues that both leaders and supporters are looking at. Which party is getting strengthened and which party is getting weaker? Would MCP be happy to see UTM getting more strength? Likewise, would UTM be happy to see MCP getting more strength? Those are the dynamics that sometimes cause infighting.
What would be your final word, whether you call it a prophecy or whatever? What will happen from here?
I think what should happen from here, both alliance members should take heed of the word that the vice president has said. Elections are far away, 2 to 3 years from now. This is the time that the alliance should deliver. The people elected the alliance. Okay, although they elected the Chakwera and Chilima.
Exactly.
They elected the alliance because of the promises that they made, because of the issues that they articulated in their manifesto. It's time to deliver those promises to Malawians. Whether the alliance will break up in 2024, 2025, that doesn't matter much now. What we expect is that let the alliance deliver their promises.
I see. Let me run through some issues with you during the remaining minutes of this segment. We lost the former Vice President Justin Malewezi, Vice President 1994, 2004. Everybody has praised his character, to say a man of integrity, a man of honesty. A huge loss to our nation.
It's a huge loss to our nation. He was a star performer.
Yeah.
In terms of steering the government.
Yes.
At times he had even to wrestle with his boss, who enjoyed the podium politics too much. The former president, Dr. Bagawanawelusi,
yes,
enjoyed the podium politics.
A master on the podium.
A master on the podium.
Yes.
But in terms of steering the government during the transition from one party to Mati party,
yeah,
Malewezi did his work. And even when I look at our politics, I think that's where we got things wrong. After Muluzi's office, it would have been better if Malewezi succeeded him, so that we could have created a culture where the president would leave his position
to his vice.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen in Malawi.
It doesn't happen
since 1994.
Yeah, but in some countries, that's the way they
like South Africa,
yeah,
for
the
example.
way they do it.
It's like a succession plan.
Yeah, when you are a vice president, you are actually learning on the job to take over
from your boss.
From your boss.
Exactly.
But we missed it there. When we missed it there,
we lost out. We didn't benefit from this experience.
Chaos continues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a good character. Nobody can point a finger at him to say he stole this, he stole this. He was just a decent man.
He was a decent man and a man of few words.
Yes.
But when he uttered those few words
of wisdom,
they were words of wisdom and they were great words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So may his soul rest in peace. Other issues, refugees. The problem, government said the refugees must go back to Zodiak. They are refugees or asylum seekers. It's a different thing. But at the end of the day, these are foreigners that are coming into your country. Then everybody's up in arms. They've even got an injunction. Where did we get it wrong? Why did we allow them to go out in the first place?
The question is, for how long are we going to keep somebody as a refugee?
Good question.
As long 20 years?
As long as there are problems in their country, Brad.
Are there problems in Rwanda?
Some political refugees, they're saying there's dictatorship in Rwanda.
I mean, Rwanda government would wish those people go back.
They're afraid of being persecuted. They're saying they will go get persecuted. Actually, it's not even persecution.
Then if you are
persecuted.
Yeah, no.
Should they go back to the country where they're going to be persecuted?
Who has been persecuted after returning to Rwanda? Those are the issues.
Okay.
The question is, for how long are we going to keep them as refugees? In some jurisdictions, when you stay in a country for say 10 or 15 years, according to the timeline that you have defined, then you can offer citizenship to some of them so that they can integrate into society.
Why are we not doing that? If you go to UK, if you go to America, they will do that too.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we are doing that. And we want to keep people in refugee camps for the rest of their lives. Then either we have to convince them to go back, or for those who have stayed in the country, say more than 20 years, then they should be integrated and be offered citizenship.
The president is always reminding us Malawians that this is a country of laws. We're going to get governed by rule of law. One of the laws that we have in our constitution are human rights. Are we doing the right thing?
It's a question which policymakers should actually deal with.
Once again, the matters are in court. They've got an injunction. Certainly, government is going to challenge that injunction. Government is going to make its case to the courts. Probably they have bought themselves time, isn't it? Because Jimmy Ndobana told them 28th April, which was on Wednesday, they needed to get out. They needed to get out of the communities and go back to Zalega, but they got an injunction on Tuesday, 27th. Once again, matters in court.
Yeah, let's see how the court will
I'm going to
but people are divided on the issue.
I see.
Some are saying some of the refugees are doing a service to Malawians. In their business outlets, they are stocking plenty of goods and selling them at
cheaper prices. Yeah.
Others are saying no, they shouldn't be in our vicinities, in our locations, because they are actually disadvantaging Malawian businesses. So people are divided.
Your final word on matters of today, including this one, indeed even the cracks that we are discussing in the Alliance.
I don't believe there are cracks in the Tones Alliance.
Oh, you of course say there are no cracks.
Yeah, there are no cracks.
You said there are only
people are expressing their opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There then, that's where we end the first segment of the program, the Cauldron. We'll take another break. When we come back, we're moving on to the second segment, and we are discussing COVID-19 in India. Things have just gone from bad to worse, and even worse. What is the problem, and how is Malawi affected? How are we supposed to? What are we supposed to do to ring fence ourselves? Don't go away. Welcome back. This is the Cauldron on Times TV. It is a program that essentially is for editors. It belongs to editors. Editors both, practicing and even those that are doing other things, to come here and talk about the issues in our country, even on the international scene. We are now in segment 2, and the issue, Brian, is India is overwhelmed. Infection rates from COVID-19 very high, even death rate very high. That they have even run out of places where they cremate bodies. In Delhi, for example, it has run out of space to cremate this dead because the number of people that are dying from COVID-19 are rising. So the country is devastated. In New Delhi alone, 380 recorded on Monday. Oxygen, intensive care unit beds, and life-saving medicines are in short supply. So far, more than 1 million, cases in just a few days recorded. Terrible thing going on there.
It's a terrible thing. It's a crisis that we should fear because coronavirus has demonstrated that it sees no boundary.
Exactly. And it travels faster.
It travels faster.
Yeah.
So we should be afraid that there are new variants which are actually
double mutant.
Yeah, double mutant. The transmission is high.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we should all be afraid that we are in this scenario.
So much history between Malawi and India. We have many citizens of Malawi, Indian origin. They have links there. So there's a lot of travel. Although there's no direct flight between Malawi, between Blantyre and New Delhi or Lilongwe and New Delhi, but there's still lots of traveling.
There's lots of traveling.
There's even now many people going to India for medical treatment.
Yes.
Forget about it.
So it's a two-way. Many Indians come to Malawi. Many Malawians go to India
exactly.
for say treatment, for business.
Yes.
That's why I said that it's a crisis. It's a problem for everyone.
Government, India, the bandit travelers from India, Bangladesh, and even Brazil, where these dangerous mutants, very, very low figures, and certainly, I think even in terms of the populace, we have loosened the defensive mechanisms. We are now, many people are not wearing masks. Probably you and me, at least we are maintaining social distance. But is it a good thing? I know government is trying to make sure that we should have some form of normalcy. Because other things also are affected. But at the end of the day, with what is happening in India, is it a good thing that they loosened up the regulations?
Yeah,
football is saying they want it to people, more people to go to the stadium, more than 250 spectators. You can comment on that as well.
The most important thing is to do the needful, which is to follow preventative measures.
Exactly.
If you look at India, for instance, they have that big problem because of too much relaxation of restrictions. You relax the restrictions,
then it flares up.
People stop wearing masks, people stop following preventative measures, and in India, despite the fact that India is known for manufacturing soaps.
Yes, the big pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah. You see, their coverage of there is also low vaccine coverage.
Yes.
So these are the issues
that they are manufacturing the vaccine, right?
Yeah, these are the issues that even we as Malawi should be pressing for. If many people can get vaccinated and people are following preventative measures,
we should be okay.
We should be okay.
But we haven't done well until now. Not even a million. I'm not sure we have even hit the 500,000, half a million. The other week it was 200,000.
Yeah. So the key thing is that when government says let us relax some of the restrictions, we also want to improve businesses and our economy. But we should avoid the negligence that is there. So let us follow to the to all the preventative protocols, all the preventative measures, and avoid the negligence, which can cause an upsurge of the numbers.
Exactly. A good message there. Brian is emphasizing the point that let's not put the ball down. We need to make sure that we keep on doing things that probably have made us to have the low figures that we are experiencing at the moment as far as Malawi is concerned. But most importantly, those of you that haven't gone for the vaccination, the jab, please do so. Some of us now are even itching that we should have the second jab because we are afraid of this disease, just not for ourselves, but even for our families and everybody. We'll take the final break. When we come back, we'll finish it off with the third segment, the final segment, and it's about an issue in the public, in the media, and of course, the coming week, the media fraternity will be celebrating World Press Freedom Day, and I'm going to talk with Brian on that issue. Pick one thing or two because it's something that is important. So don't go away.
pamene wena amati kanthu nkhama, wena amati mwayi suponya mwini. Peza ni mphoto za Nkhani mu mpikisano wa changu pamalo promotion ndi Times Radio komanso Times TV. Tumizani message yolemba changu ku 1895 kuti mukhale ni mwayi owina mphoto zosiyanasiyana kuphatikizapo Mazda Demio. Mpikisanowu ulipo mpaka na pa 30 June chaka cha 2021. Tumizani ma message ochuluka.
Welcome back, and the program is the Cauldron on Times TV or TTV. We are now in the final segment. That's segment number 3, and this is the newsroom. Brian, Mr. Malawi has informed his membership that and partners that 2021 World Press Freedom Day celebrations will take place in Blantyre on Monday at Mount Sojo Hotel. Mr. Malawi has also said this year's World Press Freedom Day is very special because it marks the 30th anniversary of the Windhoek Declaration, whose origins, the World Press Freedom Day, came about after a conference that UNESCO convened in Windhoek, Namibia in 1991. The conference ended with the landmark Windhoek Declaration for Development of Free Media, Independent and Pluralistic Press. This year the theme is information as a public good. Is information really a public good? Or it's dangerous?
Information is a public good. It enables citizens, it empowers citizens in many ways. If you are informed, you are an entrepreneur where you can access loan facilities. That is very useful information that can change your business and your life.
Exactly.
So information is important, and it's indeed a public good.
The activities include obviously a march, traditional march, panel discussion, and of course in the evening, Mr. Malawi annual media gala dinner at Mount Soch Hotel. Do these activities have any meaning? Or is something that a ritual that we need to go through every year? Do they really, bring awareness of the kind of environment that we want, what we are doing, our value to the nation?
Look, we are discussing World Press Freedom Day.
Yes.
So it means that the ritual is important.
Yes.
It also reminds the government that government has an obligation to be transparent. This year, as we are celebrating the day, one of the issues that we need to reflect on is how do we ensure economic viability of the media itself in the wake of COVID-19.
Exactly.
Advertising, which generates a lot of income to media outlets, is shrinking. Even circulation volumes are shrinking because people's economic power is also going down.
And the alternatives.
And they have alternatives. There's new media.
Exactly.
So there's even need to reflect on that and think of new ways on how you can strengthen, say, electronic newspapers.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the highlight is the awards in the evening. Are you also a judge this year? Last year you were a judge.
I'm not.
Yeah, but the highlights last year you were one of the judges. Those awards, are they still relevant? Do they really motivate journalists to do proper work?
As I've been saying, they motivate journalists to work hard.
Okay.
And we recognize actually excellence when we give awards to the journalists. And as I said again, those awards also enables journalists to cover things which usually could have been ignored.
Yeah, you're not passionate with that.
Yeah, so
some of us look at that as probably. Actually, my next question was those awards now they seem to have being overtaken by sponsors. Sponsors say any sponsor can come in and say I work in this, therefore I want an award. You have always said probably that's a good thing because it makes us cover things that as you're saying.
Let's face facts. It's only a few media outlets that can survive without partners.
So that's right.
Without advertisers, most media outlets would
not survive.
Would not survive.
We need those partners.
So when you see various companies, UN agencies, even government ministries, statutory corporations partnering with the media, that's something that we should actually laud instead of worry or complain about.
Any improvements as my final question?
The quality of stories which are submitted for those awards are of high standard. So, the awards actually assist in improving our journalism in Malawi.
I see.
Yeah.
No, the day is here. I'm sure journalists are very, very excited and look forward to Monday, 3 May, when there will be those celebrations for World Press Freedom Day. I'm afraid on that note is where I also end this week's edition of the Cauldron. As usual, you're with me, George Kasabula. Many thanks to Nelson Stua for providing technical assistance in the final control center, recording the program essentially. My other thanks should also go to Sarah Chirola for helping me produce the program. And of course, last but not least, my guest today, Brani Lingomega, for coming over every time that I call him. He doesn't complain. I can say it here.
You want me to complain?
You shouldn't complain. You shouldn't complain. So from everyone here, it's goodbye and of course, take care. COVID-19 is still out there.
Promote your Easter offers for Lace with Times Easter Combo. Get 5 minutes on Times Television and Times Radio Kenin Kujia and the 10x8 full-color newspaper advert for only 69,918 kwacha for the 4 tambala. Cover all bases. Enjoy exceptional printing quality in the Daily Times, MalawiNews and the Sunday Times. Call us today in Plantire 0887 005 791, Lilongwe 0887 005 793, Msusu 0881 551 344 and Zomba 0888 652 428. This offer is valid until 30th April 2021. It's about time.
be reborn and rise again as a stronger and wiser version of you. We care about our image, but we care about yours more. The Eagle has landed. We have invested into the largest and modern ghost news web for newspaper publishing. Welcome to the quality that you have always known us for. Advertise with the best. 0888 118 133 0887 055 793. Leading is our way of life. It's about time.
pamene wena amati kanthu nkhama wena amati mwayi suponya mwini. Pezani mphoto za nkhaninkhani mu mpikisano wa changu pamalo promotion ndi Times Radio komanso Times TV. Tumizani message yolemba changu ku 1895 kuti mukhale ni mwayi owina mphoto zosiyanasiyana kuphatikizapo Mazda Demio. Mpikisanowu ulipo mpaka na pa 30 June chaka cha 2021. Tumizani ma message ochuluka kuti mwayi wanu ochulukenso. Ndondomeko zonse zoyendesera mpikisanowu zidzatsatidwa.